Hello, today I'm going to be reviewing Trudi Canavan's The Black Magic Trilogy. Ooh. Hello and welcome to the Bottled Imp. My name is Ken Boyter and this is a fantasy review show. Now today, as I said, we're going to be reviewing Trudi Canavan's Black Magic Trilogy. Now, I'd always been intrigued by these. I'd seen them on the bookshelves for years now, and I think they've published around about 2000. And I was always intrigued by them. They're beautifully little illustrated black cloaked figures on each of the books. And I was always, as I say, intrigued. I use that word again. And then I suddenly thought, I haven't actually read these. And she's written some more since. And I thought, they're always in the bookshops. They're constantly in print. So surely they must be good. Well, let's find out. Now, in this review, like all reviews, I do try not to give away any spoilers, but obviously there may be a few, there is going to be plots that I mention, and obviously the characters. So, don't get too upset if something comes out. I don't intend to give any spoilers away. So in the Black Magic Trilogy, that follows a slum-dwelling girl named, and again, I'm terrible with names in fantasy books, Sonia, I think that's how you pronounce it, Sonea, Sonia. And really early on in the story, the reader discovers that she actually has natural magic abilities, and that's something that is unheard of because normally magic is of the high classes. It's of the the ancient families, and it's passed on and it's inherent. You're born into a family of magicians. So obviously this is different. This is rare. I have a slum dweller who has magical abilities, and I won't give away how it's discovered, but the Magicians Guild, they're not too happy. So the main plot of book one is them trying to track her down and also to discover why. How could somebody so low-born have magical abilities? Now, I'm not going to go into the plots of the other books because obviously I think that it leads on from book one to book two to book three. But that's the main thrust of it. The structure of each novel is relatively simplistic. There's not a lot of, I was going to say jump cuts, but time traveling in terms of the way that it's structured. There's memories, but there's no. It's pretty linear. It's pretty unfolds in real time, if you see what I'm saying. And that really helps because the plot itself isn't overly complicated. So therefore the structure does suit the plot. There are, a number of subplots that happen and add a bit more complication. But overall, it's a pretty straightforward story. Now, that's fine. And I'm sure that some readers will appreciate that and enjoy that. And I do appreciate that it is aimed at young adults. Now, obviously, I'm reading this as an adult. And, if you compare it to Game of Thrones, which maybe is a little unfair because that's very complicated, yes, it's not as complicated as that. For me personally, if I was going to be a bit picky, I would have preferred the plot to be slightly more complicated or have some of the minor plots become more complicated and maybe intertwine into the main plot, maybe in a bit more of a complicated way. But that said, it doesn't really take the enjoyment away of the world that Trudi has created. It just means that for me, I needed it a bit more complicated. The actual writing is of a good standard. It flows very well. It's very economical. It's very easy to get into. All the characters are very well rounded and are very engaging, and very well defined. The characters don't do anything out of ordinary that you think, hang on, I'm sure that character wouldn't react in that way or do something that is out of character. So she's really nailed down her characters. They're very, very tightly written. And also she does explore that the main theme is actually class, and I think that's a brilliant theme to explore. The slum girl, Sonia, if that's how you pronounce it, she is a slum girl, but then she does, get involved with the magician, so she can see this class war and this class struggle from both sides. And I think that's a really interesting way of looking at it, because through her eyes we can see both sides of this class struggle. And obviously, if you've been born into a family that has the opportunities for, in this example, to become a magician, compared to if you haven't, but you have got the ability to. So it's all about, upward mobility. So, it is very relevant to today, or to any sort of society in any era, I would imagine. So yeah, and for me that runs through the whole. That does run through all three of the books, and that really is at the heart of each of the books and the whole premise of the story. The second main theme is about attitudes towards sexuality, and in this case homosexuality. As one of the wizards, one of the magicians is gay, and you really get to see again the exploration of that theme, and the Magicians Guild is they're none too happy. They've actually outlawed homosexuality. So again, it's a deep theme, but the way that she handles both themes is with maturity and understanding. She does handle them with great sensitivity. And I guess if you're going to put those themes into a young adult book, you do need to take care about how you're actually going to write about them and explore them. And I think she does a really good job. And coming from an adult point of view, I thought it was fascinating the way that each character dealt with their own personal struggles against authority. So she also explores the themes without really hyping them up or crossing any lines. And for me, that really does add to the extra element of the book, putting in these deep themes. And I'm glad she's done that. She didn't shy away from them. Also, the way that she handles magic in the world is really well done. I totally believe the way that the magicians, had the magic and why they had the magic. And also the understanding of, they've got this magic, but there is a cost to having this magic. And so if you use too much magic, then, you can drain yourself and you become weak. So no one magician really becomes overly powerful in the traditional sense. There is some plot twists about magic, but I'm not going to spoil those for you. So consequently, through the child's eyes, you learn about the magic and how the magic exists in this world. And I thought it was a real cap in her feather, the way that she explains it, and I totally believed it. So overall, I really did like these books. I like the characters, I like the plots and the subplots, the way they unfolded. I also, as I say, like the way that the magic was depicted. If I was going to be picky, as I say, the plot to me was a little bit simplistic, but I think I understand why she's done that. And maybe sometimes it does, I wouldn't say drag on, that's not the case, but I just felt it needed to move a bit quicker and have a bit more pace to it. But I did enjoy the world and the premise of somebody not meant to have magic, has magic, and how they deal with that. It's not always a good thing to have magic. So I really like that. I would recommend you read these. They're thoroughly enjoyable, very easy to read, and I'm sure you'll love exploring the Black Magician Trilogy. As always, thank you for watching The Bottled Imp. Please subscribe if you haven't. If you have, thank you very much. You can also follow us on Twitter at The Bottled Imp. Please leave your comments as well about the Black Magicians Trilogy or anything else, any questions that you've got, or if you'd like me to review anything else, please let me know. Once again, thank you for watching The Bottled Imp. My name is Ken Boyter. See you next time. Why am I doing a wink?